Hey guys, how you doing? It's Marcel here. Yes, I am the host of Daily Sip for Marcel, and I'm going to talk today about pierogis or Varenikis. That's what my grandparents used to call them, and still that is the Russian name or the Ukrainian name for pierogis. And I am part Ukrainian, so this is a tradition that we always have every year. My brothers do it, I do it. We make pierogis as part of the dinner that we're going to have on Christmas Day. So here is my recipe on pierogis or varenikis, as my grandmother used to call them. And it's a tradition that our family does every year. So thanks for joining me, and this is how I do it. So first of all, 6 to 7 russet potatoes. You need to peel them and boil them as if they're going to be mashed potatoes. They have to go to about 20 minutes in a pot of boiling water. I add about a quarter teaspoon of salt in the water and boil the potatoes up. Then I take 1 onion and I coarsely chop that onion and mix it with some bacon that I've already started to work on. I'll show you the bacon in a second here. Now, I do something a little bit different with my onions and my bacon, is I send it through a small little food processor like this and chop it up so it's then part of the mixture of the filling. I love this mini food processor. It's a game changer for many little recipes that I have. If you can find one of these, I tell you, you should grab one. As you can see, what I'm doing is I'm also like separating extra oil out of it. So when you get it into the food processor, it's just the bacon and the onion bits. Now, you don't have to use this food processor. You can just cut up the bacon into smaller bits and put that into the frying pan. But I do this so it is a little bit of time saver. So then it looks like this, and I put this in a bowl. And I take a cup of Monterey and cheddar cheese, and I, see that? Monterey and cheddar cheese with a stick of butter. And I make mashed potatoes out of the russet potatoes, the stick of butter, the cup of Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese, and I also add in about a quarter teaspoon of salt. Make sure you drain the potatoes, then add 1 stick of butter. Then add your bacon and onions. Then you add your 1 cup of cheese, which is Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese. Mix that together. So see, it looks like that. Your filling's done. Now it's time to make the dough. So I start with 2 cups of flour and 2 eggs. Make sure the flour is exactly 1 cup. No piles of flour, exactly. So make sure it's exactly leveled, starting with 2 cups of flour and 2 eggs. A quarter teaspoon of salt. Then I add a quarter cup of half and half. I put it in a mixing bowl and I use this guy to mix it up. Then I'm going to hook it up to the mixer itself. Then I add a cup of water. And while that's starting to mix, I start adding in the 3rd cup of flour. Then I add the 4th cup. And get it to this consistency so that it pulls away from the bowl. you want to flour your surface a little bit. And then you're going to start kneading the dough. You knead the dough for about 10 minutes. I put it inside of each other to make a ball. Next, I cut it in half. I'm gonna only work with half at a time. And I roll out my dough. I take the second and cover it with a bowl. Just put it aside. Then I start working on rolling this out. Once it's rolled out, I use a glass to cut circles. Finish up the dough. Now what I do is I assemble them on a towel. So with the 4 cups of flour, it comes out to about 32 Vareniki pierogis. Varenikis or pierogis, whatever you want to call them. I like calling them Varenikis. Then I roll out each circle. And I make a smaller bowl of the stuffing. I take 1 teaspoon, place it in, and then I go around the edges. Pinch the edges. I like the signature thumbprint in the middle. Just reminds me of my grandmother. And you do it to all the rest of them. And then I put them again on the towel just to rest afterwards, after I've made the pierogis look like pierogis. So once you're done stuffing them, this is what they should look like. And I put them on a towel to get ready. Now I boil them in a pot of boiling water, about 3 or 4 at a time until they float at the top. When they float at the top, they're done. Then I cover them with butter and serve them. Okay, so now they float up and I take them out. And that's my pierogis. Yum.